Okay, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Depending on where you are joining us from, you're welcome. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. While you're joining, if you are joining, share the video and invite others to join. If you are joining, share the video, invite others to join. Of course, our topic is right in front of our screen. And this topic is actually, it is a very important topic. It is a very important topic. It is also an intriguing topic that requires, it is an intriguing topic that requires your attention. It requires your attention. So while you are joining us, double tap the screen. We've been, we haven't been online in a while because of one or two. This is the topic we have. This is the topic that we have to treat, to talk about. God is darkness and not light. God being darkness and not light. And I am here to share some knowledge with you, because if we understand how our life is positioned through our education system, through our religious system, you can actually testify that our life is turned upside down. Everything we are told, it's a lie. Everything we are told has been all a lie. That's why it is important for us to actually learn, relearn, and we continue to relearn. We need to detox from the lies that we've been told all our lives. And I want to actually put up a disclaimer before we proceed. The fact that we are talking about darkness and light does not mean that we are promoting any race or any color of skin color. It is about logic. It is about bringing what is hidden to light. That's what we are here to do. We are not here to promote or stereotype any, race. This is about knowledge. This is about educational purpose. It is not about ethnic, racial discussion. It is not racial discussion. It is about reality, because if we understand the concept of black contains every color. Darkness and black is the same thing, regardless of the way they sound. Darkness and black is the same thing. Now I want you to understand that every color is in black. Every color emanates from black. That's why the concept of black as a combination of all colors, and the notion that every color originates from black, is a thought-provoking and engaging idea. This perspective leads to the philosophical contemplation that if black is sum of all colors, it could be interpreted that all colors in their essence originate from black, transcending from the realm of colors to a broader philosophical and spiritual inquiry. One may draw a parallel between this concept and the idea of God. Because just like I said that every color comes from black. Every color emanates from black. And you can actually separate the rest of the color from black. Just like it is very simple, practical that you can do in order to find every color from black. I want you right now to get a white paper and get a black paint, and you paint the black paint on top of a white paper. Now you collect a glass of water. That is, fill up the glass of water, take the white paper, place it on top of the glass of water, and you might find those colors start coming out from black. You will find them start coming out from black. That is why it is imperative for us to understand that in many cultures and belief systems, God is often associated with light and purity, which is invalid in my own understanding. And according to my own research, in different belief systems, God is often associated with light and purity and transcendence. However, viewing black as the source and the culmination of all colors can lead to a revolution. Can lead us to think about what God could be like if black contains all. If black contains all, because all must come together in order to actually present black. So now we have to now reevaluate these conceptions. If black is the amalgamation and source of all colors, it challenges us to consider our perception of color symbolism and the association of light with divinity. Because if we go into, if we actually, take it to the theology, theology talks about belief. Of course, in Christianity, to be precise, it is all about belief, God, the existence of God, faith in the belief of existence of God. It's about faith, because faith is what makes us actually to know that there is existence of God. That is belief and faith. And I'm going to actually bring it to the context where you are going to comprehend it better, because we're going into astrophysics and we're going into theology. Then we are going to bring those knowledge together in order to define what God could be. Now, by extending this analogy to the realm of creation and divinity, one might contemplate the notion that God could indeed be darkness. This interpretation suggests that God encompasses all colors, symbolizing unity, inclusivity, the combination of diverse elements within a singular entity. In this context, black represents the divine essence that transcends and unifies all individuals' aspects of creation. Because from black, every color emanates. Bringing all colors back together produce black. Bringing all colors back together produce black. So the most primary color is black. The most primary color is black, because we are actually initiating our logic in order to decipher, because we've been living in an upside down world, which this upside down is created by the knowledge that we actually, receive from our religion and education system. So we are trying to decipher in order to connect back to the realm of our original self, because before we can be able to connect to the realm of our original self, that means we have to unlearn, learn, and relearn. We have to remember. We have to remember, because furthermore, Viewing God as black carries profound implication for our understanding of divinity and our relationship with the universe. It challenges us to embrace the complexity and the unity of existence, recognizing the inherent diversity and the interconnectedness of all. Interconnectedness of all. We are all connected to each other. We are all connected to each other. Listen carefully. The interconnectedness of all beings. The interconnectedness of all beings, which further takes us to the primaries. Takes us to the primaries, initiation. Now, the primary is darkness. The primary is black, primordial. Now, let's talk about anything that is the beginning of everything. Everything that is actually the beginning or the primary source of everything holds a lot of significant importance. Reason being that the perspective that God is darkness now invite us to appreciate the richness and the depth of creation, acknowledging the infinite possibilities and variation that emerge from the unity of all colors within black. From the unity of all colors within black. Because every color is black. Bring all of them together, they become black. You can still separate them from that black by doing just a simple practical. You separate every color from black, it comes like a rainbow. I am going to clear it up. That's why I actually announced this program before it began, because it is important for us to know whom our Creator could be. Instead of seeing him in a light, because seeing our Creator to be a light and seeing a light as a sign of divinity, it's actually undermining our Creator. And that's why we do not share a good relationship with our Creator, because you cannot connect to something that you cannot fathom. That's why the contemplation of black as the combination of all colors and its potential association with God offers a compelling, thought-provoking insight into the nature of creation and divinity by challenging traditional conception and inviting us to explore new perspectives. Because this idea prompts us to broaden our understanding of existence and embrace the unity that underlies diversity. Because contemplating the idea that black is God, or you may call it darkness is God, encourage us to deepen our spiritual inquiries and explore the profound connection that binds us to the essence of existence. Because God is the source. God is the primary source of everything that is in existence. He is the primary source. So, for you to understand the existence of the source, you have to go through every primaries. God can never present to be secondary. Making God secondary is actually, belittling God. Because we've been belittling God all this while. That's why we've been making him secondary instead of making him the primary source, which is what he is and will always be. He is darkness. Without darkness, there will be no existence of light. That's why blackness is a symbol of divinity, not light. Light cannot be a symbol of divinity. Light is not primary source. Light is not primary source, so it cannot be a symbol of divinity. The only thing that becomes the symbol of divinity is all about primary source. Primaries, not secondary. Light is secondary source. Darkness is primary source. So, if light is secondary source, it cannot be divinity. It cannot be God. It is belittling and undermining what God could be, because our mind was positioned to think upside down. Because if we think about in this realm of colors, black is often described as combination of all colors. Combination of all colors. It is a primary source where every colors emanated. And when bring every colors together, becomes the primary source, the black, the darkness. They are more or less the same thing. But because if we continue to use the name black, people might think that we are actually trying to undermine some race. I am not here to do so. I am here for us to understand whom our Creator is. Regardless of how you might feel, maybe you are a different race, you are under the influence of my voice, I want you to understand that it is not about race. It is about the reality and logic. Reality and logic. Because if we see black being described as combination of all colors, the notion now prompts an intriguing observation which all of us can observe. Because black holds within it the essence of every hue. Every hue can only symbolize a source from which all colors originate. When we apply this concept to theological perspective, an interesting parallel emerges. Theological perspective, an interesting parallel emerges. The idea that God himself could be likened to black, darkness. Make darkness a representation of divinity. Darkness becomes a representation of divinity instead of light being a representation of divinity. Because being a representation of divinity, reflecting on the book of Genesis. Let's go to the book, the so-called religious book, which is nothing like religious book in my own perspective. Let's go to the book of Genesis, because I believe, I don't know. Let's go to the book of Genesis. I am going to find it. I am going to try to read the book of Genesis so that we will actually pinpoint from the knowledge that you might have been exposed to right from the tender age, because from your tender age, you are exposed to the knowledge of the Bible. So that's we are actually going to bring we are going to reflect on that knowledge. We are going to reflect from that knowledge. The Bible I've got here is actually not the language that you will be able to understand. So let me reflect on the book of Genesis 2. If you have your book, go to your book, the Bible, Genesis 1, Genesis 1, start from verse 2, which reads, "Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters." Now, bringing it to such perspective of the Bible, the book of Genesis 1, verse 2, darkness was over the surface of the deep. Where is the deep? Remember, think about yourself being moved out of space. If you think about yourself where you are in the planet Earth, and meanwhile, we need to actually examine to find out if we are on the planet Earth. This is the quest I am embarking upon next. Now, if we are on the planet Earth, when you pull out of the planet Earth and you go to the space, what you are going to see there is darkness. If there is anyone who has ever been out of space, what you see there is darkness. Darkness. Deep darkness. That's why the Genesis 1:2 say, "Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep." Over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Now, a typical analogy to that, when you present yourself to someone, or when you come to someone, the first thing you present to that person is yourself, not your inner self, because the person cannot see your inner self. There is no vision that defines your inner self. The visions that you have, the image that you have, that the person have to actually, think about is yourself, your physical appearance. That is the primary whenever you are meeting a new person, or whenever you are introducing yourself to a new person. What you are going to actually introduce to that person first is the primary, your physical appearance, before you start conversing. Now, that means your physical appearance is the source, is the primary. In a broader perspective, I can say that you are presenting what you possess as your physics, your physical appearance. Now, in the aspect of creation, God created heaven and earth, right? And everything was dark. Everything was dark, and the Spirit of God hovers around the waters, which everything was darkness, full of darkness. If you read the book of Genesis 1, read it to 4, you will understand that God now had to extract light from what? Darkness. Without darkness, there will be no existence of light. So, if God's primary creation was darkness, or God's image, or God himself was presented as darkness, light comes after darkness. Therefore, light is inferior to darkness. Light becomes inferior to darkness. Now, God actually commanded the sun to appear, and the sun appears and brought forth light. That means the light is secondary, darkness was primary. So God is darkness, light is secondary. He commanded the sun to appear, which created light. Commanded the moon to appear, which created light, like a friendly light that creates nighttime. Now, think about it in this way. If in the absence of the sun, everywhere is darkness. There is nothing like this is actually, daytime. It doesn't exist. In the absence of the sun, what you are going to see is our realm blending in with the primary, going out of space. You will see the true image of God. So if the sun is non-existence, if the sun is not in existence, the moon is not in existence, everything will now blend in back to the source. Darkness. There is no light. The light, the daylight you see is as a result of the sun. In the absence of the sun during the day, everywhere is darkness. It goes back to the primary, because darkness is primary, the source. Light is secondary, came out of darkness. I don't know if I am making sense. If you are picking up something, kindly tap the screen. Darkness is the primary, whilst light is secondary. So if darkness is primary, light is secondary, why then are we attributing secondary to God instead of primary? Does that make sense? That suggests that God is darkness. What you have or what you are, your image, is what you present first. Before you speak, you present your voice. Before you present your knowledge, before you present your wisdom, your image is what you present first. And the image that, according to the book, talks about darkness. And the angels were hovering around the darkness. So we cannot continue to undermine the source by attributing secondary to become the source. The source is always one. The first is always the source. The only thing is that the source continue to expand. The source continue to multiply. The source cannot, if the source was declining, we cannot be here. 1 times 1 equals 2. 1 times 1 equals 2. The source continue to multiply. Am I making sense? If I'm making sense, kindly tap the screen. Now, it says, and the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. God is formless, meaning God is everywhere. He does not have beginning. He does not have end. He is formless. No beginning, no end. From this earth, in the absence of the sun and the moon, it's pitch darkness, pitch black. That is God. That is God. So moons and the sun becomes the primary. Your light bulbs becomes the secondary. The moon and the sun becomes the secondary. Your light bulbs, your torch becomes the secondary after darkness, because there must be darkness before the existence of light. So everything we are told about God being light is an illusion. It's a lie. Everything we are told has been all a lie, and we must decipher in order to reconnect to the source. If we cannot decipher, there is no way we are able to reconnect to the source, because to reconnect to the source, we must decipher. Now, let's think about we encountering a powerful imagery of darkness preceding creation. Darkness is not portrayed as a negative or evil in the Bible, right? It was not portrayed as negative or evil in the Bible, but rather as the primordial state from which the divine presence emerges to initiate the act of creation, right? Therefore, darkness is depicted not as void or absence, but as the rich and fertile ground from which all life spring forth. Primary, primordial, that is darkness. It is a primary source. Because if we want to draw a parallel between the symbolism of darkness and the concept of God, we can perceive black as representation of God Almighty, infinite, and it encompasses nature, because in the absence of light, the existence of primary is actually inevitable. Light can be turned off. Darkness cannot be turned off. Immediately in the absence of light, darkness becomes a reality. Now, I am going to extend it to astrophysics, the astrophysics, because this is something, physicists and scientists are not able to solve. They cannot solve this conundrum. And that's why if we talk about dark matter, they cannot understand it. But before we go there, let us actually continue understanding, actually continue to feed you, in a slow pace, so that you will not miss what we are talking about. So, just as black contains within it potential for all colors to rise, so does God encompasses all aspects of creation within his being, right? All aspects of creation within his being. The darkness described in Genesis can be viewed as a lack of light, right? Lack of light, because darkness is primary, light is secondary. A lack of light. So where there is God, there is lack of light. That's why you cannot see him. You cannot define the signature when he moves. He does not display signature because everything is invincible. That's why he can move around you. There will be no signature left behind, because it is a dark matter, according to astrophysics. So, when we are actually talking about everything in existence, we talk about the primary source of everything. Everything in existence has its own primary source, but the reason why darkness is actually superior to every other thing that is in existence is because from the beginning was darkness. And in the absence of light today is darkness. The darkness described divinity. Because in many spiritual tradition or traditional belief system, the color black is associated with concepts such as mystery. The color black has been everything evil. That's what it has been. Color black has been seen as evil and unknown. Listen to it. Color black has been called evil. Color black darkness has been called unknown because no one can see in the dark. No one sees in the dark because color black is unknown. Color black is unknown. So that's why these attributes and align closely with your understanding of God as an unfathomable and transcendent being whose ways are beyond human comprehension. By contemplating the symbolism of blackness as a representation of divinity, we are invited to delve deeper into the mystery of creation and the boundless nature of divine. The only way we are going to connect back to the source, because the primary aspect of what we are doing, it's not about race superiority. Maybe if we are talking about superiority, if we are going to talk about that, it can be topic for another day, but that's not where we are today. Where we are today is trying to define the existence of the beginning, trying to understand the existence or the meaning of darkness. That's why you go to Africa, you find people praying on a daily basis, every power of darkness, I cast you to die by fire. Every power of darkness, I cast you to die by fire. Without being conscious of what if die by fire, every power of darkness die by fire. What if you are castigating God? Iya, iya, I am. You are praying against your creator, believing that you are praying against the devil. Because they made us to believe that the devil, they made us to believe that the devil is darkness, whilst the creator, the source, in their own perspective becomes the light, the secondary. So in this world, or in this realm where we are right now, everything was turned upside down. We are handed over to the secondary. We were taught or given everything about the secondary, not the source. Now we are actually stereotyping the source. We are now doing everything against the source, which the source holds significant value to our existence, while the secondary is actually our anti-existence, right? Without generation of electricity through burning fossil fuel, will someone come to you to tell you that your carbon monoxide is bringing global warming? No. No one is going to tell you that your carbon monoxide bringing global warming. No one will tell you that, because light is not a primary, it's not natural. Darkness is natural. Light is artificial. Light is created, darkness was not. Because darkness is the source. God is darkness. In days to come, we are going to actually extend it to the existence of humanity, and we keep on taking it further. Because the idea that black could symbolize, of course, the idea that black could symbolize God reflects a profound and multifaceted understanding of divinity. Just as black encompasses all colors within it. Just a very simple, practical, that you can actually embark upon right now. If you have a black paint, where you are right now, get a white paper. Put the black paint on top of the white paper. Paint the white paper. Get a cup of water or a glass of water. Take the paper, place it on top of the glass of water. You will begin to see different colors emanating from black, from the source, from the darkness. You will see rainbow color emanating from the darkness. That's how God is seen as the source from which all creation emanates. The same way darkness is the source from which all creation emanates. That only tells us that the creator of all, Iya, popularly known as I am, because his real name is Iya, A-I-A, A-I-A. I am. Popularly known as I am, is where everything came from. Because if we have to explore further the symbolism of blackness in religious texts, we gain new insight into the depth of divine mystery and the infinite nature of the Creator. Because we've been under an illusion, prioritizing the secondary and giving praises to the secondary source instead of us looking for the primary source, to appreciate the primary source which all emanated. That's exactly what brings about the interconnectedness of all creation. If you get hold of flower of life, you will see, spheres, circle overlapping each other. Circles overlapping each other in this regard. And whilst they are overlapping each other, you will see where there is equanimity between every creation, which is stage by stage. It is stage by stage. Just like if we think about our galaxy today, if we want to think about our galaxy, everything is stage by stage, stage by stage, stage by stage in our galaxy. Think about flower of life, stage by stage, circles, stage by stage, on top, overlapping each other. The interconnectedness of everything in existence and relating to one source, darkness. everything is connected to each other. That's why the day, or let me try to be spiritual a little bit, permit me to be so, because we don't understand spiritualism and blasphemy, or we cannot distinguish real spiritualism and blasphemy. Let us try to be a little bit of spiritual, just like you will understand it. Just like you will understand it. God himself, who is a jealous God, right? Who is a jealous God? Watch us on a daily basis, giving the glory that belongs to him, the primary source, to the secondary source. What do you think he does? He turns his back on you. And he does not have to answer to you, because he gave you signs and wonders through nature, through which you may figure him out. Instead, we decided to flow with the indoctrination of the creator or anti-God. I don't like using the name God. It's inferior. It is inferior. God is light. I am, Iya, Iya is darkness, from which everything emanates. Light is secondary. Nothing comes from light. Light actually reduces the presence of darkness. So, in the absence of darkness, light is actually inconsequential, right? In the absence of darkness, light becomes inconsequential. And in the presence of darkness makes light to become of importance to us. So without darkness, light is not needed. That's why it is imperative for you to understand that darkness is the source. Light comes from it. Every color, every hue in existence comes from black. Black is the primary color. Black is the primary color. From darkness is black. From darkness is black. Black is the primary color. Because every color put together takes you back to the source. Every color put together takes you back to the source, which is black. That only tells us that the existence of every existence started with darkness. Every existence started with darkness, which means darkness is the source of everything. From the source, everything started separating from. From the source, which is darkness, everything started separating from. Now, in you, you have the darkness in you. What is the darkness in you? The soul in you. And that's why your soul cannot be seen. This is actually introducing you, to bringing you into a new realm of understanding of the Creator. Introducing to you a new understanding with which you can connect back to the source instead of being in the middle and being confused. Because in our everyday spiritual, so-called spiritual lives, we've been binding and castigating or casting the Creator of all. We've been binding, praying against the Creator of all. In mathematics, we've been saying that Creator of all multiplied by itself, it becomes itself. No, he multiplied by itself, he continued to multiply. He never, decreased, or he never remained stagnant. He continued to multiply. That's why this perception or this teaching of mathematics starting from 1 times 1 equaling 1 is an illusion. It's invalid. It's a lie. Because 1 existed through which 2 came out. From 1, 2 came out. You add 1 to 2, it creates 3. You add 1 to 3, it makes 4. 1 to 4, it makes 5. So 1 is actually an increasing number. It is not stagnant. 1 times 1 must be 2, cannot be 1. You just need a logic for us to understand and decipher, because the traditional way of learning or traditional curriculum that we have, it's all about, it is created to enslave humanity, not created to enlighten humanity. Just like the book gave you a clue in the Tower of Babel, how human being was modified. How human being was modified, because human being was supposed to be immortal. Not the God in human being that was supposed to be immortal only, but human being, your body can be preserved, your body can live up to 1,000 years, just like Melchizedek. But in the Tower of Babel, everything was modified. Even separation was, brought in amongst human being, amongst God's image. And that's why you see hatred. You see people actually hating each other. People cannot come together and vibrate and bring out a good vibration. People hating each other, unaliving each other, that's actually anti-nature, anti-God. Because that's exactly what the devil wants. The devil wants you to continue to hate yourself, and that's why they separated you from each other. That's why they divided you within new way from border system. That's why they introduced fiat money, that you may actually be in the chase for the fiat money, forgetting humanity that is in you, forgetting that everything was going to be easy, lovely, beautiful, if there is equanimity between every creation of God. Because in the creation, everything created, there is something called the equilibrium, the center. If those things that is held by the center, or that is held by the center, if they cannot agree with each other, the center cannot hold. Now, God is in you, God is in me, God is in everyone. Imagine if everyone brings love. If love comes together, the vibration it will produce will return back to God to us. Vibration it will produce brings back God, takes us back to the source. Because if all of us are able to relate with each other without stereotyping each other, without seeing, or we go beyond the boundaries of, status, or will I say financial status, not only financial status, every other thing. I don't want to actually touch on many things, but the most important thing is that love is going to bring us back to our original self. Fiat money is only created so that everyone will continue to mind their business, not to actually think about others. That's why you see people can do anything just to make money. And if you don't make money, you cannot survive. In the way the world is set up, all these things were actually made for us to forget the primary source. For us to forget the primary source from which everything emanates. If there was no love in the Creator, there is nothing like expansion or multiplication. Because there is love, He is, or we are rather, because He is. And our creation is because we are. So if everything comes together, we are going to be close to being God, right? Which is going to take us back to the source. So the reason why I am introducing this new phenomena, or whatever you may call my theory, is for us to look beyond our traditional religion, our traditional curriculum, education system, traditional science, and we must actually see beyond those teachings and logically introspect to understand that all the things that we have been following is invalid. That's why there is hatred, unaliving, people hating on each other, warring all over the place, because the devil was handed, who actually took over our lives. Devil took over our lives, that we may forget the source, where we come from. Everything was turned upside down. That's why if you go to the Bible, the books, the letters, the names has been turned upside down. Sometimes they start from the middle to the and they extend it to the first, and the last will be now the beginning. So that's actually how everything has been changed, that we may not figure it out, that we may not understand, we may not remember and connect ourselves back to the Creator. I believe I have actually talked about this in Numbers. I have talked about it in Numbers. I have talked about it now in color, which is darkness and light. Now, let us actually try to delve into astrophysics understanding of the source. Because the only thing that the physics or physicists, scientists, is not able to understand is what they call dark matter. dark matter is one thing that they cannot understand, because God is actually, God is something, or you can never understand fully. It is something that you need to continue to figure out. That's why I am laying a foundation that you may use to figure him out and connect to him. But the most important thing is that the foundation, it must be us understanding and loving each other, understand the interconnectedness of all things, the interconnectedness of all creation. Because God is, and we are, our creation is. The same thing, the same way it will continue to go on. If we cannot be, then it means that God actually made a mistake, because he is, because we are. Sorry, we are because he is. If he is not, we are not. And if we are not, there will be no creation coming from us, which is our people procreation. That's why it is called procreation. Now let's actually delve into the understanding of this divinity, or let me actually use astrophysics to try to conclude. I think TikTok is actually firing on us. If you are watching, kindly tap the screen. So that because when TikTok begin to say confirm or whatever, this I should confirm what that is it, that I am not a robot. That means it is sensing non-engagement. So I believe that's why. So let me actually bring in what it's called dark matter. Let's talk about a little bit of dark matter, then we conclude. Let me actually try to use that one to conclude. Maybe it will help you to understand more, because God is unfathomable. You can never ever fathom God, because he is I am, the beginning and the end. That's why the enemy of light, the enemy of darkness, which is light, the enemy of darkness, which is light, the son of the morning star, the son of the morning star. Remember, if we talk about stars, we're talking about heat. We are talking about heat. The son of the morning star, light. Now, we are now calling the source the light, which light is not divinity. Light is bad. Darkness is good. Nature is darkness. Light is anti-nature, in a way that you may understand it. Now, trying to explore the divine nature of dark matter, exploring the invincible forces in the universe. That's what we are going to try to explore right now. We embark on a journey through the cosmos to unravel the intriguing parallel between the unseen forces in the universe and the concept of divinity. As or let us actually delve into the mysterious realm of dark matter and its symbolic connection to the faith and belief in the unknown, Let me now show you how science could not understand God. The same way theologians were not able to understand God. Science see what they are looking for as just a mere science. Theologians see what they are looking for as a light, which bring confusion, within those, those two umbrella. In theology, God is often described as a matter of faith, right? A matter of faith. We cannot see or touch God, but we can believe in his existence based on faith and spiritual experience, right? Now, in the realm of physics, dark matter exists as an invisible substance that eludes direct observation. Despite its intangible nature, dark matter exerts a gravitational influence on the visible universe, shaping galaxies and cosmic structures. Look, like if we actually go to out of space, like I said, you will see our Milky galaxy. You will see the wave conjugation. You will see the wave conjugation. And now, if we ask science to define what is bringing this gravitational energy that creates this wave conjugation that moves the moon or moves the sun, because in my own theory, I believe the earth is stationary, but there is a dark matter that moves within the equilibrium. That's exactly what they see, and they call earth moving. Earth is not moving. Now, you find out that the gravity is a dark matter, because if you jump up, something pulls you down, and you cannot fathom what exactly pulled you down. They call it gravity. Is a kind of example of dark matter. Now, the divine nature of God and the enigmatic properties of dark matter invite us to contemplate the mystery of the universe and the limit of human understanding. The limit of human understanding. As we ponder the mystery of cosmos, let's remember that faith and science, though distinct in their methodologies, but both offers profound insight into the nature of existence. The divine essence of dark matter reminds us of the intrinsic value of faith. Faith, divine matter, is something that we do not see. It does not leave behind a signature. Oh no, it might leave behind a signature, but you can never actually understand it. Just like I gave you an analogy of you jumping up and something pulling you down, that is a dark matter. You cannot see it, and that's exactly what UFO, the technology they are using, they use dark matter. That's why what whatever they call the unknown flying object is actually powered by dark matter. That's why you cannot hear the sound. You just see things appearing and disappearing. It is a dark matter. So when we talk about God in that sense, it is something we cannot see. When we come to theological belief of this God, we talk about faith. We know or we believe it is there, even though we don't know what it is. We know it is there, even though we don't know what it is. Faith. Then dark matter, we don't see it, but we know it that it exists. So they have actually, a relationship in understanding, what the creator is. That's why no one is able to understand what is there out of space, the universe. They saw wave conjugation, they saw gravitational cycle, they saw Milky Galaxy, they saw everything, but they cannot actually fully understand what energy is actually rotating things that are actually moving around, because it is a dark matter. Dark science, funny YouTuber thing. So because it is a dark matter, that means God is actually something you can never understand. You believe in his existence. You know he is somewhere because you have seen the work. You have seen, the result of his work, but you don't know him. You cannot figure it out. The same way your pastors cannot figure who is their creator, but they are using the opposite to present to you as a creator, because creator is not light, creator is darkness, which is the primary source of everything. Just like I gave you example that the color black is the primary source of every colors. Every colors come together, they go back to the source, black. They go back to the source, black. Genesis 1 verse 2. Everywhere it was void and darkness, and the angels hovers around the darkness. They never complain. They never call darkness evil. They never call darkness bad. But we decided that there is these people who knows better than every other person to tell us that darkness is evil, and we started praying against darkness, even though there are some human beings who are darkness, who have darkness in them, because if we want to attribute it to human existence, black is darkness, and we stereotype everything that is dark. Black cat is evil because it's dark. So this is actually what the devil does. Our theologians were actually following the footstep that is laid to them by the devil. You say, answer me, promise, Rapalen. What are you saying? What did you ask? Please ask again. Okay, the sun inside the ozone layer or outside the ozone layer. The sun is actually, I believe the sun is inside the ozone layer, because if we understand the book of Genesis, it talks about water was separated from water, and you actually go deep into the Bible. It talks about heaven. Earth is the footstool of the Creator. Earth is the footstool of the Creator. Now, Genesis talks about the water that is above water. Water above water, the firmament. It suggests that there is water that we see above the firmament. There is sea that we see above the firmament. So the sun that emits light cannot be inside the water. Cannot be inside the water. I believe that every understanding of creation, every understanding of our galaxy can actually be clear if we go to the poles. If we go to the poles, that's why there is a lot of myth about people flying, especially to the so-called South Pole. To the so-called South Pole, because in my own understanding, where they call South Pole is called the North Pole. The place that is called South Pole is called the North Pole. The place that is called North Pole is called the South Pole. So that's why there is a lot of myth around that place called South Pole. You cannot fly around there. You cannot go around, because if you go there, you might see another universe. You might see something that is not in existence in our world. Because at South Pole, if we think about it this way, let me try to bring up something. I don't want to change the topic though, but let me try to bring up something that will better analyze your question, because we need to understand that as well. It's very, very imperative that we understand our universe, because deciphering our universe and understanding it actually gives us a clear indication. Now let me show you this. Let me show you this. I don't know if this will actually, oh no, not this one. Do we use this? But it is so big. I think let me try to bring it from the computer. Let me try to bring it from the computer. Let's actually do a little bit of experiment, because I want you to ask me questions and I will be able to answer you in my own understanding. Then you further your research. Maybe whatever I give you as an answer is going to actually help you to navigate your own theory, because it takes, two is better than one. What you actually hear from me push you to actually go into more in-depth research that will now give you the answers that you are looking for. Just one moment. Let me bring something like our Earth and the creation, something like the equator. Actually, I've made a video about these things that I'm trying to actually bring through. But let's look into this one. Let's look at this as our Earth. Let me zoom it. What is behind me? I don't know if you can see what is behind me. What you see what you see here is our Earth. What you see like two hands holding on to the sphere is actually the mantle of our Earth, which depicts the two poles, the North Pole and the South Pole. That means if we get to the North Pole, we will see something that will give us a better understanding of our cosmos. Likewise, if we get to the North Pole, we will get a better understanding of our cosmos. Let me now bring to the computer where I will be able to point at what I'm saying. I have actually drawn this thing and I depicted it the other time The last time we were doing this, I depicted it, and I believe people were able to understand it better. If we look at what we have here, let me actually bring it closer here. If we look at this, this is actually our Earth. What we see here is our Earth, the North Pole, the South Pole. North Pole, South Pole. The moon, now the sun, emanate from the North Pole. The sun starts from the North Pole, and when it moves, the sun moves like this. So if the sun moves like this, this is our firmament. This is our firmament. If it moves like this, within the poles, it could suggest, I am not sure, I have not seen, I don't have resources to do the to do the trips and experiment, but what I have actually understood after all the research, because I have been keen in understanding this movement of our Earth and our galaxy. If we understand that here is our mantle, which creates the poles. The poles is like this, which gives us only two cardinal points. Then this is our veil, the veil that protects us from the water, or the veil that actually protecting us from whatever that is up there that might be harmful. This is the veil that protects, that is between our world and the other side, which is generally called they call it ozone layer. So within this veil, there is water here, there is water here. Earth is God's footstool. That means there is something about Earth that we need to actually understand more, because there is more to Earth that we know. There is something that exists in Earth that we might not have, we haven't seen, or we've not been introduced to, which might be sometimes it's crazy, right? I believe that Mars, you don't need to travel here to go to other planets. There should be a gateway between these two places that gets us to other realm. Gateway that is within these two places that takes us to the other realm. Because if we think about exiting from here, how do you navigate the water that is iced up by the helium? Because the one we see is like helium that iced up the water that is up there, which actually, according to information, the ice that is here heals itself. The one that is here. Likewise, the one that is somewhere here also heals itself. So pulling out of here might be a suicide. And people going to the moon, going to the Mars, going to other planets might be making fool of us, because it is all about hiding information. There might be a gateway within this axis. It could be that anyone who is pulling out here goes here or goes there, but we only see them pulling out. So in your answering your question, if the sun is within our space, or is it out of firmament? Okay, Promise is it Rampaleng? Promise Lampaleng say that the earth is flat. Yes, What you see here does not mean that Earth cannot be flat. What you see here means that Earth is flat, but within the mantle of Earth, it is not flat. The surface of Earth is flat. Let me show you something that will give you a better understanding of what we're talking about. This is just a creation of for you to understand the poles. Because if I give you a flat Earth, that means you will not understand that we only have two poles. We don't have four cardinal poles. We only have two of them, south and the north. That is what we have in existence. That's why I gave you this. So if we have to go to the sphere itself, let me try to find the sphere itself. Not this one. One moment. Let's find the sphere. There is the one I normally. Okay, this is the surface of Earth. This is the surface of Earth that you are seeing right now. The surface of Earth, the straight line you see in the middle depicts the cardinal the poles. You can see, even if you see the other line like cross, it does not exist. What you see is the cardinal point. It is only two poles that the Earth possesses. If you understand, when we look at this, I don't know if you are seeing what is in front of your screen right now. That is the flat Earth that you are looking for, right? That is it. What shape, if you create the flat Earth, what shape is it still going to give you? It is still going to give you the shape I showed you in the computer, right? Let me also look for, because there is something, and like we are going somewhere, actually. We are going somewhere. So the shape of the mantle will not take away your flat plane. The shape of the mantle will not take away your flat plane. Your flat plane remains your flat plane. And every other thing will remain what they are. I'm trying to find our. Now, you ask about the moon and the sun. Let us move away from your flat plane. I have confirmed to you about your flat plane. When we are actually, giving you this all this analysis, it does not mean that it will invalidate what you know. It does not mean that it makes what you know invalid. Now think about this as our Earth. What you see here as our Earth. And you think about this as our moon. What you see here, it is a drawing. It is a drawing. See this as a flat plane, as our flat plane. Don't see it as a sphere. See this as our flat plane, right? And this is our moon. The moon goes like this around our flat plane. Remember, this is a sphere that you have in your screen, but the moon, because it's a drawing actually, indicates something different from visuals. Now, our flat plane, the moon and the sun moves this direction in our flat plane, moves this direction. It does not move from the top. It does not move from the top. It moves, if you have to understand it from the flat plane that I showed you earlier on. You will see it moves from that direction, which is like, it rounds, but it doesn't go to the mantle. That's why this must be your flat plane. It doesn't go to the mantle of Earth. If this is your flat plane, the moon goes like this, but this is a sphere. You start from here. So that suggests that our moon is basically not on the height of the firmament. Our moon is on the height of our pole. Is on the height of our pole. It's not on the height of the firmament. It's not up to the, it is not actually above the firmament, but our moon is on the height of our pole or our equator. That's what, in my own understanding of this, look at, I think this is like 5-dimensional, world. 5-dimensional. So look at this. Let's see it as our flat plane. The moon hovers here. The moon and the sun hovers here, not here, right? Let's take this as our firmament, not here, here. So it is something that is mystery. It is something that is mystery. If people goes to the moon, I don't think they went through here. They don't go through here, the firmament. I believe they go through the pole. I believe there is a gateway somewhere. My belief, I am not saying that I know. My belief is that there is a somewhere within the poles that creates, that has something else that leads them to wherever they want to go, if they have been there. That's my own belief. That's my own belief. Remember that what we see as a moon is not necessarily what, its position, because we could be seeing an illusion up there. But this is actually, diverting from what we were talking about. We just diverted from what we're talking about. So let's go back to what we're talking about. If we have more question, if you have more question, you can actually ask, because what we're talking about before we move away from it is about God is being darkness. God being darkness and not light. That was our topic before we move away from it. That was our topic before we move away from it. So, God is darkness. I believe I don't see any other question here for me to answer. And where is the guy that was asking question? If I don't know if you have more question, you can actually ask, or you can even come up. You can come up to actually ask the question, because if we see this, let me see something here. Each time I think about the Earth, our planet Earth, I always think about our wall clock. I always think about our wall clock here. Each time I think about our galaxy, I think about this. And this does not come from people of yesterday or people of 45,000 years ago. This mechanism has been in existence, which I would like to show you the real mechanism where all this mechanism come from. I know that this one is actually the depiction of the original mechanism that depicts our galaxy or our cosmos. What you see here is where they actually took out. In fact, this is where the wall clock, the clock came out from. This is very old. What you see here is very, very old. It was used, but inside it, this is actually the cover. Inside it is more like this. Inside of it is more like this. So I believe that these have a relationship with the position of Earth in the galaxy, which I believe this is Earth and these are the other planets, and this is the sun and the moon that brings light to all of them, and there must be a gateway from here to here, gateway from here to here, gateway from here to here. So there must be a gateway from Earth. I don't believe that we need to fly up in my own belief system. I am not saying it is valid. Now, we come back to the mechanism you understand in your clock. They are interconnected with each other, regardless of how far they might appear to be from each other, because distance can be an illusion. Distance can be an illusion. That's why dark matter is difficult to be, for the scientists to understand. So this is our planet system that in my own understanding, this is our planet system. They are connected with each other. Now, in your normal watch, this is it. Your normal watch or clock. This is it. Perhaps there is a gateway like this, which takes them to the places where they go. Perhaps there could be a gateway like this that takes them to the places where they go, the Mars. But flying up could be an illusion. Flying up could be an illusion, because if we look at our planet system today, and if we look at our world map is turned upside down. Our map is turned upside down. So that means if our map is turned upside down, that means we are living in an upside down world. Upside down world. Let me see if I will be able to find the map. Then I will show you, and I will show you how upside down our map is. Just one moment. Let me bring the world map. Perhaps I can position it, give it its original position that will help you to understand it better than you know. Let's pull it up. Now, this is our world map. I'm going to try. Let me try to see if I can. Yeah. You see our world map. Every map here, every location here is upside down. Every location here is upside down. Let us actually find a way to place our map to its location. Let's find a way to place our map to its location. But first of all, let me introduce to you African map, the position of African map, so that you will know that we are living upside down. Everything you know to be truth, call it a lie. Everything you know that to be truth, you might equally call it a lie. Let's do this. All right. This is African map, right? African map. This is actually invalid. It is pure invalid African map because this is a creature. What you see that depicts Africa is a creature. It is either this creature is an elephant or this creature is a camel. So creature does not stay like this. Therefore, let's bring our creature right to its position. This cannot be the position of the creature. I used to think it was this position, but this is not the position. Now, this is the position of the creature in our map. In our map, this is the creature. And this position now tells you what African map, what is the name of the creature that depicts African map. This creature here, it was carved off. You see here, Madagascar is here. If you take this Madagascar, you plug it here, it fits in perfectly. If you take Middle East here, so-called Middle East, so-called Middle East. If you take it, push it back here, it fits in properly. Now, this was African map before they decided to turn it upside down. Do you copy? Upside down. So if African map is like this, that means every other map that is being shown to us is upside down. Now, because they say charity begins from home, that's why I am starting with the map. And the reason why I am trying to bring you your knowledge to it is that we talked about darkness being the source, while light is the secondary, because they decided to turn everything upside down so that we don't connect back to whom we are, because we do not die. We live on. The only thing that we leave behind is memories. Our ancestors does not stay dead. That's why people who say they pray to their ancestors, they are actually they are illusional. They are delusional, because you cannot be praying to somebody who is alive, maybe somewhere in the bar drinking, and you are praying to him, because we do not stay dead. What we pray to tap into is the lost memory of these ancestors, not them, because they don't stay dead. The memories is what we call ancestor. So that's why everything has to be turned upside down, so that you don't see something that will give you the sense of nostalgia, that will connect you back to your previous memories. That's exactly what it is. So this is the position of our maps. Charity begins from home. That's why I bring you home first. Then let's actually go to let's go worldwide. Now, if this is our map, this is called South Africa, right? Which is in the south region. And this is Antarctica somewhere here. If Antarctica is somewhere here, that means Argentina should be somewhere here. Argentina, because Argentina has a gateway to Antarctica, just like Cape Town here in South Africa has a gateway to Cape, has a seaway to Antarctica. Now, somewhere here, there is something called Euphrates River, if not the eyes. Euphrates River, which is called Zambezi, present-day Zambezi River today. Within this axis, there is Garden of Eden somewhere here. Garden of Eden. The reason why they place this map and call this Middle East and call Egypt to the north. Egypt is not in the north. It is a lie. Egypt is not in the north. The north does not stay up. The north stays side by side with the south, which depicts the two poles that exist in the mantle of our creation, or in the foundation of earth. It is actually two poles. So not being here is part of the illusion that we are living. Now, we bring it back. This suggests that South Africa we see today, those who I don't know if there is anyone watching from South Africa. You are not in South Africa, you are in North Africa, which is here. The so-called Middle East, Egypt, they are in the South Africa. They are in the south, because the South Pole should be here. Where Antarctica is called the North Pole. The North Pole. And then you see Argentina somewhere here, heading to the North Pole. Now let's go to the world. Let's go to the world map. Let's take it to the world map. This is our world map. You see the illusion here. The illusion here suggests that our map cannot be like this. Our map cannot be like this, but our map is perfect like this. This is our poles. Because if our map is like this, we will be able to decipher the center of equilibrium. Center of equilibrium. By measuring here and to here, or here to here, and here to here, or here to here, then we find a center, which many people depict. That's why where you go to Mecca, they call it the center of equator, which is a lie, where they have a microchip called the Kaaba stone, because that Kaaba stone depicts a microchip which brings everybody together in vibration. What is within this microchip is called they call it Kaaba stone, but that Kaaba stone represents Shiva, Lord Shiva. But that's a topic for another day. Now, you see, here shows you where could be the center of universe. The center of universe. It could even be here. It could even be here, somewhere here. It could even be somewhere here. Now, this is the position of our map. Africa, Argentina, North America, Europe somewhere here, Russia somewhere here, Yemen, is it Yemen? Yemen somewhere here, Yemen, within this axis in the so-called Middle East. Now this is the North Pole, this is the South Pole. This is South Africa in the north, this is Egypt in the south. So this tells us if this could be done, That means we are living an illusion. We are living in illusion. This is it. Let's see it properly. They made it, they just, created it and gave it to us perfectly. And they actually place it in our education curriculum that nothing on earth will make you to connect back to your ancestral memories. Because these positions of these things, everything being at its position, can trigger the sense of nostalgia that makes you connect back to your previous 1 million years memory. It sounds crazy, because I know most of the time when I begin to talk about this to some friends, they tell me that I'm crazy, because I don't know if I'm really crazy, because maybe I am, but my understanding is that this is the position of our map. This is our animal in Africa. Animal. This is it. Show me where on earth animals sit like this. Show me where on earth animals sit like that. Let me try to, because I like to use my own work. I don't like to use other people's work, images. I like to use mine so that someone will not say I am infringing their copyright. But now let me try to, go to the map that is going to be labeled. Maybe let me try to, get a labeled map. Maybe it will give us the sense of exactly what we are looking for. Just one moment. I hope I can find the labeled map. Okay. Now this is our labeled map. Let's find out what it looks like to set it up. This is our labeled map, right? You see the way they positioned it. You will not understand what type of animal is this. You will not understand what type of animal is this, because Asia and Eastern Europe is almost, somewhere together. So you will not understand what animal is this. You will not understand what animal is this. Likewise, this one, because all the map signifies a living thing. All the shapes in the map signifies a living thing. So therefore, if we have to bring this map to its original state, which is what I'm about to do right now. But the only challenge I have with this map is that it is not my work. Let's try to bring it to its original form, and we zoom. You see the so-called North America, which is North America is South America, is in the south. The north is this side. Argentina is all those Brazil, Argentina within this area, they are north. They are in the north. They are in the north. We were indoctrinated. So here in the South, so-called North America, I am seeing an eagle. I am seeing an eagle here. Eagle. That's what I am seeing here. Eagle. Here, I am seeing something like camel, either camel or some. I don't know what is this animal that has the ears is like is it the ears or the horn? But this is animal. This one, if you see the position of it, I don't know if I can call it elephant, or I don't know, because the ocean, most time you will see the ocean is dividing. There is another prediction, just like the ocean divided Madagascar, which is called Marina. This is called Marina. Original name of this place is Marina. Ocean divided Madagascar, and I believe there is another ocean reported to be dividing this area. So that means if it is divided, you'll find where you call the Mozambique, and maybe Zimbabwe will follow. They will be carved out of this animal's face. Then there will be another ocean born here. Could be that Euphrates River, which stays somewhere here, is now going to expand. Is now going to reveal itself and expand, because Euphrates River, which is the garden of Eden, somewhere here, Botswana somewhere here, and the Zambezi or Euphrates River somewhere here. Within that axis, there is a Garden of Eden. And if we watch Lion King, you will know the area where Lion King was acted. Those who watch movies, or those, I don't know if it's cartoon, that it comes in a cartoon, yeah. If you watch it, you will know it was within this area that this Lion King was acted. And some languages that was used in acting Lion King was languages being spoken within this so-called Southern Africa. But I believe it is a topic for another day. Here could be the center of equator. Center of equator could be here. It could be, some people call here zero latitude. Here, some people call it zero latitude. I have not found out. And another thing that they lie to us about is from Cairo to Cape. Their own measurement gives from Cairo to Cape 7,800, right? From Cairo to Cape, 7,800. Now, if you want to extend it from Somali from Somali to, is it Gambia? Somali to Gambia, somewhere here. Is it Gambia here? Somewhere here. Either Gambia, yeah. Somali to Gambia. Then what does it give you? It also gives you around, okay, Cairo to Cape, sorry. Cairo to Cape gives you within 8,400 according to their measurement. And this one gives you within 7,800. Now, length times width, they called it 32,000 square kilometers. But if you do a good measurement from Cairo to Cape, it gives you within 11,000 to 13,000 square 13,000 kilometers. You do from here to here, it gives you around 8,000 to 8,200 kilometers. Then length times width gives you around 60 something thousand. Remember, gives you around 60 something thousand. We might actually, argue that this void must be covered. That's what gave them 32,000. But that 32,000 is still invalid according to their measurement. According to their measurement, Africa is the biggest continent as long as Asia and Eastern Europe are actually mapped together here. Asia, Eastern Europe, even so-called Middle East is now connected to Asia. All of them are connected together here. As long as they are splitted, Africa still becomes the largest landmass. The largest landmass. It is bigger than Asia. But they say Asia is 42,000 plus. Africa is 40-something thousand. This is 32,000, which is a lie. Everything we are told, our education system cannot enable us to actually, do something productive with ourselves. Our education system only teach us how to be in the classroom and be indoctrinated. That's why we cannot make use of this education system to be creative, to innovative, to actually to invent stuff. But our education system gives us white collar, 9 to 5. That's what it gives us, dependency. That's why robotics that are being created today is being created because they must be indoctrinated as we are on the era of awakening, just like it depicts here in the map that rules the world, the map that shows everything that is happening on our planet Earth. Tomorrow, I might be talking about this GMO again. GMO, I've been posting a lot about this GMO, Agenda 21, climate change, fluoridization, big pharma, vaccine, SV40. That suggests that the new regime that will come, there might be an introduction of this SV40 because it is in our present, it is not in our past. What we find here is in our present, it is not yet in our past. A lot of them here is in our past, but this is in our present. From here, weather warfare, Illuminati card game, they are still in our present. It is not in the past. The ones that are actually still, unaliving people that is still in past and in present, all connected to depopulation, AIDS, Ebola, even cancer program. Cancer is curable, but they don't want to cure it because they want to make money. So everything is absolutely upside down. But this is not what we are here to talk about. Let us reflect back to what we were talking about. It is about God being, it is about God being the darkness and not the light. It is about God being the darkness and not the light. That is the reality of it. So if you are not ignorant, or if I know that it is the older generation, it is difficult to fix their indoctrination, but the younger generation, we can introduce a new phenomena that will actually equip them with knowledge that can help them to thrive in this new world that we are moving into. As far as you see all these things turned upside down, our children will continue to be a slave to the unknown. That's why it becomes very imperative for us to make sure that we change this program that we are running on and implement and introduce the original program through which humanity is created. And first of all, for us to actually understand such program, love is very, very important, because love plays a vital role, especially amongst the meek and the poor. Amongst the meek and the poor, understanding the fact that we are because he is, or he is, or I am because he is, and we are because I am. Interconnectedness of all things, which is actually presented to us through the flower of life. The interconnectedness of all things. Because through this flower of life we see, I have used it to actually depict few things. Flower of life depicts love, because interconnectedness of all creation can only happen through love, not through hatred, not through war, not through people stereotyping people, not through witchcrafts, not through evil. It is through love. And what will bring us back to love is understanding the source and embracing the source for what it is. And the source is darkness, and darkness is God. The light is secondary, whilst the darkness is primary. So embracing the darkness and not undermining the existence of light, but because you cannot count two without counting one. One must come first before two. That is actually what we need to understand. First thing first, the source of everything comes from darkness, and the darkness was not called evil, even in the book that the religion stole and call it the book of religion. It never called darkness evil. It is history of creation, history of human existence. They call it religion. Now, It never called darkness evil. Instead, it depicted darkness as a beautiful thing that the angels of God was hovering around it, enjoying themselves. And today we are praying against this darkness that the angels of God could see good to hover around. We are praying against it. How then do you think that the creator of all, generally known but as I am that I am, known by few as Iya, Iya, or Iyaya, Iya, which is the secret name of the Most High. If you continue with me in this journey, the time will come when I will introduce to you all the names of the Creator from the week one, from day one to the seventh, to the sixth day, and to the day of rest, and the prayers and the angels that actually works in each day that exist. There is angels that is in charge of each day that exists. But one thing is for sure, before you will understand all this, you must connect back to the source, the creator of all. Darkness presented before the light. That means darkness is older than light. That means darkness is not evil. That means darkness is God, infathomable. Darkness is God, infathomable. You know it exists with faith. The same way dark matter exists in astrophysics. The physicists, they know that dark matter exists because they can see the work of dark matter. And because of the work of dark matter, that's why they believe it exists. Theologians believe that God exists because they can see the work of God, and they introduce faith, which is the physicists actually introduced. It is also faith that actually gives them the sense that dark matter exists, because they cannot see it. They cannot see it, but they know that it exists. That is exactly what it is. So in that regard, you will understand that all these things theologians are trying to figure out, all the things that astrophysics is trying to figure out, it all boils down to one thing: the unfathomable one, darkness, the creator of all. So this is where we're going to leave it. I believe no one has a further question, because well, someone asked me, what do I mean by animal? I think you are referring to the map. I think you are referring to the map. You say, what do I mean by animal? Animal represent, if you look at African map, you will find out that it is a face of animal. That's what, remember that you find human is part of the things that God created last. So each and every land that God created, there is some things that he used to bless that land. He used different creatures to bless the land. The same way he used different creatures to bless the sea. So maybe in Africa, he used camel. If that African map depicts camel, or he used cattle or buffalo. Yes, thank you to me. That African map depicts buffalo. Buffalo. That reminds me. I don't know if someone wants to join the... is there anyone? No. If you want to ask question, you come in and ask question. So, African map depicts a buffalo. Buffalo is the one the horn is somewhere, somehow like. So, I believe it depicts buffalo. So, every map has its own spiritual meaning because there is some image you find in that map. So Africa is buffalo. The so-called North America is eagle, swift, eagle, and the rest. Those are the two that I have figured out. But the rest, even in the Bible, it talks about eagle, and it refers to North America. Now, I want you to also understand that the same way he identified every land with the image of what he placed there first, or what he blessed the land, is the same way every land have their own mineral resources. He knows where he planted all. So all these things is not a coincidence. It is the creator of all understanding the importance of image. Importance of image. His own image is darkness. Like I say, if you come to me, what I see is your image. Your image, before you now bring out what you possess or what you can actually give. Your existence first is your image. His existence first, according to the creation, is darkness. And it was neglected, it was undermined, it was stereotyped, it was actually, vilified that the darkness is all the devil. And I gave you example. Black paint consists of all colors. All colors comes together, takes them back to the source, which is called black paint. Until we meet again. I guess no one want to actually, ask me question. In case if you want to ask me question, you can come in. I will gladly answer you. Not scared of your question. If you don't understand anything, you can come in and challenge my own philosophy. Because if you don't come in and challenge it, I guess you understood me and I'm right. I guess I'm correct if you cannot come in to challenge it. So that's the way it is. Tomorrow, if I have extra time, definitely I am going to come back to this unnatural phenomena. Those unnatural phenomena, such as GMO, because African countries are adopting it massively because they are not informed. Some of them are giving money to make sure there is no existence of organic seeds, because the plan is that in the next decades there will be no existence of organic seeds. The only people who will have access to the organic seeds are the cabals who are manufacturing GMO. It is called agricultural monopoly. They will have monopoly over it all. And at the end of the day, when they have monopoly over it all, you continue to be their slaves. See you tomorrow if you are interested in that topic, maybe the same time or earlier before that time, depending on what time my schedule allows me to. Until we meet again, make sure you love to attract the vibration of God. Salute. Good night. Good night, Rich Cheras. Thank you for joining us.